Well, thank you everybody and welcome to Padova. We are very proud to organize this conference, and it's very nice to see so many friends and so many colleagues here in this whole room for this occasion. Already started this morning with 2 party events, but let's see what will happen today.
Yes. Since the beginning of this conference organization, we decided to consolidate the results of the previous years, and we tried to include even more novelties in the program, trying to get involved with more people who study presence, but for some reasons didn't know about the existence of this community. So we tried to include people from the field of performance, from the field of conversation analysis and ethnography, from the field of social and networking environments, of BCI, and I think what you get now is a very rich and heterogeneous program as a result.
So please enjoy Padova and enjoy Present 2008. Thank you very much for being here.
In the Passion Project. And what we were trying to do was, on the one hand, to look at the risks and dangers which can come by taking present technologies out of the
10 years ago, with the rising of virtual reality, there was the idea that maybe if you use virtual reality exposure, it may also be effective as a treatment for anxiety disorder patients.
So here's a spacecraft coming in, weighs about 25 tons. It's got airbags. It's got sensors that determine if the surface is crumbly or not. And if it's a secure place, it will fire harpoon tethers into the surface, tying the spacecraft down.
The more advanced technologies that are typically discussed in conjunction with presence. So we have 4 presentations. One of our presenters, T.Will Hartman, could not make it today, but we'll still have 4 presentations. And these are all part of a book that is coming out next year called Immersive Media.
Like both anchors, the female and male anchor, they rated them individually as being more credible. This is a pretty powerful effect for what was a fairly, bland everyday sort of newscast. There wasn't anything particularly interesting that happened in this newscast.
In this, as far as this overall goes, I'm going to, first off, there's one central thesis that I have, or we have in this presentation, in this book chapter, is that among kind of the currently used popular technologies, we think that computers have the greatest telepresence potential. We think they have great potential and are greatly utilized for three subtypes of presence that I'll talk about.
2 feedback conditions. One is based on dimensional call centrality, and another type of feedback was based on a measure called reciprocity. And then we also had 4 teams who participated to a control group.
Coding of the sense of the body and the sense of self-location in space can be manipulated by multisensory stimulation and sensory deprivation.
Choreographing absences, the viewer as a medium, will be looked at in relation to our earlier works. My voice shall now come from the other side of the room, performed at Tate, 2007, and Workshop, performed in the...
My first question is this: are you present now? This may be a silly, trivial question, but...
Faculty of Medicine and the Knowledge Media Design Institute at the University of Toronto. My perspective is that I'm a neuropsychiatrist and sleep specialist, perhaps to have an interest in human factors research. So direct me towards this area.
How do we get to someone to perceive that an avatar has more or less anthropomorphism? So we were really interested in this question of
what randomly assigned 60 participants to 4 conditions, so that we get 2 gender switching conditions and 2 control groups. As you can see, we designed our avatars stereotypically. The women wore a long dress, and
we make a factor analysis and would identify 2 factors. The first factor was the positive mode, awake, attentive, or committed. And
we were basically interested in who do people want to be in virtual worlds. How should avatars be designed in order to increase the user's entertainment experience?
Different interfaces for telecommunication, in particular video versus virtual reality. And then we raised an issue concerning how to represent eye gaze on avatars in such applications, and the choice there is between reproducing the participant's eye gaze or modeling the eye gaze.
After all, any decent person will be sympathetic about it. Anyone who thinks less of you for it is simply not worth knowing anyway.
So I hope you get an idea of what kind of blushing I'm talking about here. So, back in 1872, Darwin defined blushing as the most human of all expressions. However, most people consider this most human of all expressions as undesirable, and some people feel embarrassed when blushing in public. Moreover, profound blushing is one of
acting is action is relevant in terms of expecting a reply from another person. So if I do something and I expect something relevant from a person after me, and this reply does not come, I feel like anybody's acknowledging the first act I did. So I feel like I'm transparent. How do I deal with
These are some of the images that sparked our interest in this topic, and the topic is portrayals of telepresence, a little different than some of the other projects.
Following the same kind of a research tradition as Anna had so well presented, so this is also an action-based approach, and we study how presence is made relevant in the course of interaction.
So I'd like to discuss presence and location awareness based on the case study.
And my name is Anna Ricci, and this is Sasha Barrett. Sasha was going to be here, but he's been called to Uganda, so we thought it would be a wonderful use.
Is Dr. Sasha Barrett, and I would very much like to be there, but currently I am in Uganda working with the ministry and teachers and schools to bring our project down here in
just coming weeks public. So on the human computer conference, so that's the outcome of the workshop essentially that took place in November last year.
Very technical stuff, right across to other people who are more on the usability and presence side, which partially include myself and also those at TU Vine, at the University of Vienna, and a few others. So the project becomes that from technology, particle technology, all the way through to presence research. One of the things with the Microcity project is that its mixtuality.
We're using a neuronal system simulator for the control of the home space. That might seem a bit strange that we do this, but we have a long background history in our lab of also an interest in neuromorphic control, understanding how biological systems per se work.
We want that people that use data and applications very, very different and very widespread can have a unified vision of what is happening to their group, to their inner relationship.
Very typical outline. I'll start with a brief introduction on the motives why you wrote this paper. Then I'll move on to the theoretical framework, and then, as usual, the methods, results, and discussion.
Violent media backed aggression. I think it's a very classical topic. So I'll not say about this much further.
And it was already being used to for learning purposes. And okay. So this is what we did.
Split, let's say, in two different locations our panel, given the fact that we are quite late. First of all, I will introduce the main objectives of the project in order to explain, in order to position the project, especially in comparison with